Here are three that you can do in today's uncertain times when it looks like stress is at its highest. I have plenty of people contacting me and saying, how can we deal with this? So here you go. There are three things that can totally help you. My name is Lalita Gorin and I'm a stress management expert. Okay, number one, when you're thinking about any situation right now in your life, any that is stressing you out, and I recommend you to kind of write it down. Because when you're writing things down, it really helps your mind to categorize, and then you can see it on the paper. So it gives you, more control over something that you see it. So first, identify how many of those stressors do you have. Is there money you worry about? Is it a job you worry about? Your relationship you worry about? Or God knows what else you worry about. And then when you already have it, then what you will do is you come up with the action step, because it's very important for you to know what is you going to do. You see, this is where the majority of our stressors coming from, is the unknown. We get to worry a lot about the future because we don't know what the future would look like. And especially if you grew up in an environment where you didn't feel loved and appreciated and safe, and a lot of things were constantly changing in your environment, you kind of grew up already with this anxiety and stress like your default. You like, this is how always is. So whenever something comes up on the news, for example, you can get super stressed out because it's already at your threshold. So whenever you need to put more on top of it, it can be even worse. And especially if you grew up in an environment where, well, there was a lot of things that happening around you that did not make you feel safe, it's probably you are catastrophizing a lot of things as well. And I know because I've been through this. My dad was alcoholic, and tell you this, I had no idea. Every single day going back from school, I did not even want to go home because I don't know what's going to happen there. So think about your childhood, and it's not like I'm telling that, oh my gosh, you ruined and there's something's wrong with you. And oh my, no, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is that it's very important to know what are system settings you coming into this game. Okay. So I'm not saying it's good or bad. It is. So more you realize about yourself, the more you know your patterns, what kind of equipment you're coming into this world, the more you can make the right decisions for you, and especially about stress, because there are lots of things in our lives that happens that triggers us a lot. And if you pay attention, you will notice, and you can start paying attention more to your friends, your coworkers, and people that you hang out with. If something happens, how do they react? Especially something that could be stressful for you. You will notice that different people react to situations very differently because of those game settings that they came into life. So that's why it's important for you to identify. Are you stressing out a lot? Is the you just constantly anxious? Is that your normal default thing? Is are you catastrophize things? Because if you already have the settings for making this as a big deal, you always will take it as a big deal. That's why you need to prepare, and that's what they said. Number one thing is you cannot know what the future brings, but you can prepare for it. So you identify all of those things that you worry about that they are really stressing you out. And then, and let's say you lose a job. A lot of people losing jobs these days. So you can say, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed out. I'm so worried. What's going to happen? My family's going to lose the money. We're going to lose the house. We're going to lose this and this and that. So what you will do, stop catastrophizing and now make a plan. Okay. So the better thing is if you really write it down. And if you have someone else in your life that they contributing, that has to do, if let's say you worry about stress in a job, then maybe you two of you need to sit down, or three or five of you need to sit down and say, okay, we're going to prepare a plan. This is what's going to happen if I lose my job. And then you brainstorm. Preferably you come up with like 20 solutions. And if you think 20, oh my gosh, that's a lot. Did you know Japanese made this research long time ago that says that everyone who want to come up with a solution or with an excuse or whatever, they can come up with 40 of them. 40. So I'm telling you to do only 20, half of that. and you just brainstorm. What is it you're going to do when you lose a job, if you will lose a job? And what will happen? That you will start calming down because you will know that you're taking control of things. Why it also works? Because you're honoring your needs. You're honoring your emotions right now while you're thinking how you're going to do this and what your next step's gonna be if the worst thing happens. And this is where you feel more in control. So, especially if you grew up in the environment where there was lack of control, things were changing, whatever thing I said, when you start coming up with a plan, it will calm you down because you have more control now. Prepare those plans. And then you go to every single item that you were telling yourself, okay, I'm worried about relationships, I worry about the job, I worry about the kids, I worry about world peace, whatever that is. What is that you do or going to do if that thing happens? Okay. That's like number one thing. Number two is very important. Also, again, write it down. Think about all the times in your life where life didn't really look good. I'm sure that plenty of people can come up with lots of stories, no matter how rich or poor you are. And not everyone always struggling with the money or jobs. But also remember when you were in love the first time and you were worried that, this boyfriend or girlfriend that is breaking up with you, you're not going to survive anymore and you will never marry anyone or you never meet anyone. Or you didn't pass the driving test and now you're thinking, oh my gosh, I will never drive. And yes, I'm asking you to remember all of those times where you were expecting a failure and it didn't fail and turned out to be for the better. Or, and when was the darkest moments of your life, but you survived? Because if you're watching this video, obviously you're alive. So remind yourself that there are plenty of things that you already did in your life that you survived. And this list will remind you that you will survive again. And of course you will, because you just created a plan how you're going to do it. That's why it's kind of like one question fueling another one. That also should calm you down more because you will prove it to yourself that you can do this. And I will recommend you to have that list really handy for all of those times that after from now on, you will come in this anxiety again and worrying about things of, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, getting it this catastrophizing time again, especially when you watch the news, listen to the people, social media and all that jazz. It can get really scary and you can feel how you're getting along on all of those waves. And that's the moment when you need to stop yourself and read your list and say, I'm prepared. I've been through worse times in my life. I will survive. I can do this. And now the third one, also very important step, that you need to now control what you can control. Control is the number one step in my calm process. And if you want to know what it is, I have a link below and I am giving away for free now the whole course on, and don't get afraid, like this is not like 12 hours videos and workshop. No, 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 no. It's just 4 modules, 4 videos in an hour. You can knock it out. You have worksheets with the questions, how to do, get through all of the questions there. It can move you through the whole process so you will feel more at peace and feel more in control, hence less worried and less stressed out. I'm giving this for free. We all need this right now. Okay, control. So let's go back to what I was trying to tell you. Control what you can control, because a lot of times, again, if you came up from this kind of childhood that everything is a big deal, and by the way, you may learn this behavior also from your parents or your caregivers, any authority in your life when you were growing up, especially up to the age 7. So if they were stressing out about every little thing, you will stress out about every little thing. If they were really good with solving issues, you probably will be good too, because we learn from them. That's how life is. It goes from generation to generation. That's what's important, to identify what are you really coming from. That's what it is. Okay, controlling or not controlling. What can you control and what you cannot control? You can't control little things around your house, around your day, about your attitude, about what you will do, at what time you wake up, what you're going to wear, what you're going to eat, how you're going to talk. Little, it looks like, are you kidding me? I'm controlling when to wake up, but you are controlling that. Nobody else controlling it. You waking up, right? You the one who's brushing teeth. You the one who's eating it. So don't underestimate and start writing those things down. What are the things that you took control of today? And you will notice that you took control of more things that you think you did. If you go to work, that's like already 10 points right there. Because there's a lot of people who just sit all day and do nothing, right? So look at you. And if you take care of other people, whoa, that's a lot of points there. So there's a lot of things you're controlling in your life. And why is this important? Because when you see that you can control a lot of things, you will have more faith in the other previous two steps that I tell you to do, is coming up with a plan and seeing that you totally can do this. That will enforce your trust in yourself. That's very important, because when you trust yourself, then you will trust your future self that you will be able to control whatever will be coming your way. And you already have a plan what you're going to do if the worst thing happens, right? And then you need to come up with some sort of list, the things that you cannot control. And you cannot control the traffic. You cannot control other people's emotions. You cannot control what other people post. You cannot control how other people vote. You cannot control what other people eat. And you cannot be in relationships and think that you can be healthy for them or make them somehow to be in a better spirits or eating better or making them healthy or happy. You cannot control other people. You can influence them, you can inspire them, but you really cannot control them. If you're controlling someone, that's probably is abusive. Just saying. So think about what you cannot control and let that go. And that's pretty much the second step of my calm process, which I already told you about. Go check it out. So there you have 1, 2, 3. After all of this that I just tell you, if you will do at least one, that will give you more peace of mind. And if you worried still and you're thinking, I don't even know how to word the process, and you need to get clear, I'm here for you. You go to my website, beamazingyou.com, and book a session. Of course, all of this in the description below. You can do this. You've been through worse. We all can get through this together. Control what you can and stop controlling what you cannot. Make yourself a plan, and I promise you'll be fine. And the worst thing that can happen, I don't think you're going to die. And that's what we always worry about when we're children, because all of those patterns that we learn how to manage stress is really coming from the child mentality. You're an adult now. I'm assuming you're over 18 who's watching this video. So you can take responsibility and you can control yourself so you can be there for others who need you.